Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti, and let's go right into it with the first animal of the week being Cyprinus rubrofuscus koi, better known as the Nishikagoi, or simply as koi. They are the domesticated version of the Armor carp, which itself is endemic throughout the fresh waters of Eastern Asia, being native to China, Korea, Russia, Japan, Vietnam, and Laos, from the Armor to Red River basins. There is evidence of people raising Armor carp in captivity primarily for their meat at least 2,500 years ago, and possibly up to 5,500 years ago, with them becoming a distinct subspecies at least around 500 BCE. By the 4th century AD, 5 color varieties, being red, blue, white, black, and yellow, have been established and documented. However, it is believed that these single colored carp were not a variety created by artificial selection, as is the case with today's koi, but were rather mutation induced color changes. The origins of koi as we know it begin in the 1820s, an area known as and apologies, there's a lot of Japanese words coming up that I will probably butcher, the Niju Marango, which spans the Ojia and the Yamakoshi in the Niigata prefecture of Japan. Here, people began systematically breeding the colored varietals of Armor carp in order to create various different combinations and patterns, further crossing them and perfecting their lineages to create stability and consistency in the fish's coloration. Around 1875, colored koi became popular, and number of breeders increased. But the Niigata prefecture banned aquaculture of ornamental koi because it was considered a speculative business. However, breeding continued as a hobby for many farmers, and the ban was lifted soon after thanks to the petition of the villagers. At that time, colored koi varieties included the Kohaku, Asagi, and Ki Yatsuri, and from this original handful of koi varieties, all other Nishikagoi varieties were established from, with the exception of the Ogon variety, which is single-colored and metallic koi, which was developed relatively recently. Today there are considered to be 21 varieties of Nishikagoi, being the Kohaku, Taisho Shanshoku, Showa Shanshoku, Binko, Ut Surimono, Asagi, Shushi, or Shusui, Koromo, Kawarimono, Goshiki, Hikari Mujimono, Hikari Moyomono, Hikari Yutsirimono, the King Irin, the Tanchko, the Cha-go, the Ogon, the Komono-ru, the Ochaba, the Kiko-koryu, the Kin-kikogoryu, as well as there being additional varieties that are hybrids between koi and other species of carp, such as the ghost koi, the butterfly koi, and the dotsugoi. In general, koi are very hardy fish which reach 12 to upwards of 36 inches or 30.5 to 91.5 centimeters in length, and can survive a range of water temperatures and conditions, but they tend to thrive at around 15 to 25 degrees Celsius or 59 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit in moderately deep pools with some current. They are omnivores which feed upon fruits, seeds, algae, aquatic plants, insects, and aquatic invertebrates. Koi naturally breed on their own, and they tend to spawn in the spring and summer seasons, with females laying thousands of eggs at a time. Under ideal conditions, a koi may live upwards of 200 years. Next up is Struthiocamelus, better known as the common ostrich. It is a species of large, flightless ratite bird, which was once native to India, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East, but can now be found throughout much of Africa, with introduced populations occurring in Australia. They inhabit grasslands, scrublands, dry forests, and deserts where they feed upon various seeds, nuts, fruit, flowers, shrubs, and grasses, as well as insects, small reptiles, rodents, and carrion. Common ostriches are themselves eaten by cheetahs, lions, leopards, African hunting dogs, and hyenas. Common ostriches have many anti-predator adaptations, such as great eyesight and long muscular legs, which allow them to deliver powerful kicks and run up to 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers an hour, making them the fastest animal on two legs. They also live in nomadic fission-fusion flocks up to 100 birds, which often travel alongside herbivores such as wildebeest, zebra, and antelope, with females reaching around 5.9 to 6.3 feet or 1.75 to 1.9 meters tall and around 130 to 260 pounds or 59 to 120 kilograms in weight, and males reaching 7 to 9 feet or 2.1 to 2.75 meters tall and 180 to 345 pounds or 82 to 156 kilograms in weight. The common ostrich is the largest of all extant avians. Males have black body feathers and white feathers on their wingtips and tails, whilst females have gray-brown body feathers. Their necks are long, eyes are large, and feet are broad, sporting only 2 toes. The mating season lasts from March to September, and during such time males establish a territory. Then females break into groups of 2 to 7, led by a top hen who will evaluate and select specific males to mate with the entire breeding season. After the initial mating, the male will dig a nest, being a shallow dip in the ground, which the top hen will lay 7 to 10 eggs. Subsequently, the male will mate with all females of the group, and those females will lay their eggs around the top hens. Once around 20 to 60 eggs have been laid, the top hen will incubate them during the day, while the male will incubate them at night. After 35 to 45 days, the eggs will hatch, and the male will take care of the chicks until they are around 10 months old and capable of fending for themselves. Under ideal conditions, a common ostrich will be sexual until around 2.5 years to 4.5 years old and may live up to 70. And next up is Canis lupus cygnatus, better known as the Iberian wolf or Lobo iberico. It is a species of gray wolf, or a subspecies of gray wolf, which inhabits the Iberian Peninsula, specifically northwestern Spain and northern Portugal. This subspecies has been cut off from the rest of Europe's wolves for nearly 2 centuries, and upwards of 2,800 wolves is the largest wolf population in Western Europe. These primarily nocturnal canines live in packs of 3 to 10 individuals comprised of one primary breeding pair, both their mature and immature offspring, and occasionally their siblings. They inhabit forest, grasslands, and mountainous regions, and they feed upon wild boars, rabbits, roe deer, red deer, ibexes, and occasionally livestock, various birds, fish, lizards, snakes, frogs, and even smaller carnivores. Reaching around 43 to 55.1 inches or 110 to 140 centimeters in body length, 27.6 to 35.4 inches or 70 to 90 centimeters tall at the shoulders, and 55 to 121 pounds or 25 to 55 kilograms in weight. Iberian wolf differs from the more common Eurasian wolf with its lighter frame, white marks on the upper lips, and dark marks on the tail, and a pair of dark marks on the front legs, which give it its subspecies name cygnatus, meaning marked. Iberian wolves are generally monogamous and mate for life. The female is responsible for digging a den where she further gives birth and raises 1 to 14 pups after a 60 to 63 day pregnancy. For the first 45 days, all members of the pack participate in feeding the pups through regurgitation. The mother stays with the young for the first 3 weeks, after which the pups continue living in the den until they reach around 8 to 10 weeks of age. Females become reproductively mature at 2 years old, and males when they are around 3 years of age. Under ideal conditions, an Iberian wolf may live up to 13 years. Falco sparvenaris, better known as the American kestrel or the American sparrowhawk, is a species of common falcon that can be found throughout the Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, from as far north as Alaska and northern Canada to as far south as Argentina and Tierra del Fuego. The American kestrel is also an occasional vagrant in the UK, Denmark, Malta, and the Azores. Is it the Azores? I think it's the Azores. It might be the Azores. Anyway, here they inhabit a wide range of biomes, including taigas, temperate and tropical forests, grasslands, meadows, deserts, mountainous regions, coastal regions, swamps, marshes, tundra, scrublands, agricultural lands, and urban and suburban areas. A kestrel habitat must include perches, open space for hunting, and cavities for nesting, whether they be natural or man-made. American kestrels primarily feed upon insects, arachnids, lizards, mice, voles, shrews, frogs, snakes, squirrels, bats, and small birds. Reaching some 8.7 to 12.2 inches or 22 to 31 centimeters in length, 2.8 to 5.8 ounces or 80 to 165 grams in weight, with a 20 to 24 inch or 51 to 61 centimeter wingspan, American kestrel is the smallest raptor native to the Americas. It is a sexual dimorphic species, with females being around 10 to 15% larger than males, and whilst both sexes have gray wings and black spots with white bellies and black spotting, whilst both sexes have a white head with a blue top and rufous black, then with noticeable barring, males have a blue-gray wings with black spots and white bellies with black spotting, whilst females sport red to brown wings with dark brown barring and cream-colored bellies with brown streaking. American kestrels are monogamous and mate for life, with breeding season typically occurring during the spring. Respective parents build their nests inside of cavities of trees, cacti, cliff faces, or in buildings. Here, a mother kestrel will lay 3 to 9 eggs, which are incubated by both parents for around 30 days. After hatching, the young remain with their parents for 31 days. Under no conditions, the American kestrel reach sexual maturity around 1 year of age and live up to 17. Next up is Asbolus verrucosus, better known as the desert ironclad beetle or the blue death-fiending beetle. It is a species of darkling beetle native to the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico, where it inhabits the Sonora and Mojave deserts. These primarily crepuscular omnivorous insects feed upon carrion, chiefly the carcasses of other insects, as well as fungi, lichen, fruit, seeds, and other plant material. Blue death-feeding beetles are known for their remarkable ability to play dead when they feel threatened by predators, such as spiders, lizards, birds, and rodents. Hence why they're called death-feeding beetles. These beetles are also known to be remarkably well suited to their desert environment, with multiple adaptations for heat resistance. One such is a coating of wax on the exoskeleton, which works to both prevent moisture loss and protect against solar radiation. Said wax coating is also what gives these beetles their distinctive steely blue coloration. Because of this, higher humidity can cause the beetles to become darker in color. Reaching around 0.71 to 0.83 inches or 18 to 21 millimeters in length from head to abdomen, males are slightly smaller than females and have bristly red hairs on their antennae. The males are slightly smaller than female. The species name verrucosus, meaning warty, refers to the characteristic bumps on the beetle's elytra. Blue death-feeding beetles cannot fly. Their wings are fused under their hard exoskeleton shell, and breeding often occurs during summer, with blue death-feeding beetles requiring specific soil and humidity conditions in which for both their eggs to hatch and their larvae to pupate into adults. As such, they are notoriously difficult to breed in captivity. If the burrowing mealworm-like larvae successfully pupate into adulthood, a blue death-feeding beetle may live up to 8 years. Apologies, I keep stumbling over all my words. Next up is Lemur cata, better known as the ring-tailed lemur, the maki, or the hira, is a species of strepsirrhine or wet-nosed primate belonging to the family Lemuridae and the only living member of its genus, lemur. These highly social animals live in female-led troops of up to 30 individuals. These lemurs can be found in a variety of habitats, including deciduous forests, dry scrubland, montane humid forests, riverine woodland, and spiny forests. Although they frequently climb, forage, and rest in trees and other foliage, the ring-tailed lemur is the most terrestrial of all extant lemurs, and spends much of its time walking around on the ground quadrupedally. They are omnivores, feeding on a variety of leaves, shoots, fruits, especially tamarinds, flowers, herbs, bark, sap, various arthropods, eggs, lizards, and small birds. Ring-tailed lemurs are themselves eaten by hawks, buzzards, snakes, civets, fossa, and feral cats and dogs. Reach around 37 to 43 inches, or 95 to 110 centimeters in length, and around 4 to 6 pounds, or 1.8 to 2.7 kilograms in weight. The ring-tailed lemur is a relatively large lemur and is characterized by its pointed muzzle, cat-like ears, and long tail that has 12 to 13 white rings, 13 to 14 black rings, and a tip that is always black. The breeding season runs from mid-April to mid-May, and ring-tailed lemurs are a promiscuous species, with both sexes often mating with multiple partners. Who mates with whom depends on the dominant structure within the troop, with low-ranking males unlikely to mate at all. Female lemurs will be pregnant for 4 to 5 months before giving birth to 1 to 2 babies. Infants will be carried by their mother until they are 6 months old, when they will move around completely independently. Females remain with their mother's group for life, whereas young males leave their mother's group at around 3 to 5 years of age, in search of an unrelated group. Under ideal conditions, a ring-tailed lemur will reach sexual maturity around 2.5 to 3 years of age, and live upwards of 20 years. And our extinct animal week is Palaeophis, which is an extinct genus of marine snake and the type genus of the extinct snake family Palaeophiidae, which lived throughout the Eocene to the Pirabonian of the Eocene epoch, some 56 to 33 million years ago. The first fossils now known to belong to Palaeophis, consisting of several vertebrae, were discovered in France in 1822 by Georges Cuvier, who attributed them as belonging to a giant snake. However, they would not be formally named and described as Palaeophis proper until 1841 by Richard Owen. The name Palaeophis is derived from the Greek words paleos, meaning ancient, and ophis, meaning serpent. This type specimen remains at the Museum National d'Histoire Naturelle in Paris. Museum National d'Histoire Naturelle in Paris. Since then, many more Palaeophis remains have been recovered from throughout Europe, Africa, North America, India, and Central Asia, with there being around 18 recognized species. I may butcher these. P. toleopicus, P. typhanus, P. festinensis, P. virginianus, P. porticus, P. longus, P. littoralis, P. grandis, P. africanus, P. maghrebianus, P. cassi, P. colossaeus, P. xyland, P. virginianus, P. nisovi, P. tamadi, P. udovikinkoi, and P. zygla. These species varied broadly in size, with Palaeophis cassi as being the smallest at around 4.3 feet or 1.3 meters in length, while the largest species, Palaeophis colossaeus, is estimated to have reached 27 to 40 feet, or 8.1 to 12.3 meters in length, making it one of the longest known snakes. Many species of Palaeophis can be separated into two assemblages of species or grades. A primitive grade, including species whose vertebrae are weakly laterally compressed and have less developed and low process of vertebrae, and an advanced grade characterized by the vertebrae presenting a strong lateral compression, which translates to being much better adaptation for aquatic life. It had a long, slender body that was well suited for swimming and prey capture in water. It is likely that Palaeophis used its sharp teeth and strong jaw muscles to grasp and hold onto its prey, and may have used constriction to subdue larger prey. In life, Palaeophis would have inhabited shallow seas, warm coastal oceans, brackish lagoons, acting as a generalist ambush predator, feeding upon a variety of fish, invertebrates, birds, marine mammals, and other marine reptiles. As always, take care of my guys, gals, and non-binary pals.